Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. And yes, we will get to the JRC in a moment. First, disclaimer, if you're unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, all pertinent links are going to be there in the description box. Should you like to do a deep dive on either subject, you should be able to go ahead and do so. Trigger warnings, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. I do use profanity. And when we talk about places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center, you're going to hear descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. So if you have children that watch the channel and they are 16 and younger, parental supervision very much advised, alright? Alright, now warning. Missouri weather is being Missouri weather today, so I'm a little stuffed up. You might hear some weird noises every so often. I apologize for that in advance, and I will try my best to keep it down to a minimum. So, we're back to the pain compliance article that we began yesterday, and we're going to read through present day. Now, this might be a review of information for a lot of us, but we're going to go ahead and go through it anyways. Mainly because this one is sane. And let's face it, in our current world, we need all the sanity we can actually manage to get a hold of, and we better cling to it with a death grip because it is a vanishing fast commodity these days. Present day. Now, this is not present day as in you and I. In March 2020, the use of electric shock devices was banned by the FDA to treat self-injurious or aggressive behavior. This decision was appealed, and it was determined that the FDA could not ban the use of electric shocks where it had been approved for medical use. That is a lie. No article. That overturning did not mean it was approved for medical use, because the FDA, they can ban a device, sure, but the ultimate decision on whether to use the device or not, while they're still able to do so, falls onto the JRC and their medical team specifically. Okay? The FDA made no determination whatsoever after the overturn in regards to the continued use. You see, they are very much against it, hence the appeal. Okay? Let me continue. Just because the ban got overturned didn't mean they got approved immediately for medical use. There's nuances, people. Nuances and context. Context is always king. Evidence is always the damn emperor. Therefore, in cases where the electric shock treatment had already been allowed by a judge or healthcare professional, this practice was allowed to continue. In September 2023, the Supreme Judicial Court of Massachusetts ruled that the Judge Rotenberg Center can continue to use electric shock devices on its students after claims by JRC lawyers and parents of the students at the school that is life-saving, court-approved electrical stimulation device treatment. Whose life has it saved? I know about the lives taken because of adverse therapies. Point me to one person. One that can be verified by medical professionals who could look me in the face and tell me with their full chest that without this torture device, this person would no longer be here. I'm not talking hypothetically. I'm not talking about whatever, mental health pseudoscience crap they want to throw in our general direction. I mean, A, can you prove that it is life-saving? B, is there a single person who's ever been put on this device who is not coerced by the JRC whatsoever? An independent medical body that would be able to confirm that this is a life-saving device? No? then you're no different than the snake oil salesman of yore that will promise you everything in the kitchen sink, where you either get nothing or at worst get a buzz from back in the day. Well, granted, they had laudanum and all kinds of craziness, so it ended a lot worse, but you get where I'm going, right? Anything that promises you the results that include the sun and the moon, it's pseudoscience, it's bad for you. Grab your kid and don't walk, but run the hell out, like the hounds of hell are on your heels. Because parents, I'll say it again, you are your kid's first and last line of defense. Parents, I hate to say this, but you can't just trust people that much when it comes to your kids. You can't. You can't. You know? You gotta do your research. You can't just, well, the school says it's fine, and so obviously, no, we can't do that anymore. We can't be open-eyed on one end and closed eyes in the other because it suits a narrative that makes us feel better at night. You are your kid's first and last line of a defense. It is your job to be watchful, to be wary, to do your homework. Because if you don't, they can end up in a place like this. Okay? You can't just, but it's life-saving. Prove it. From the show me state, show me. And by the way, court approved, again, with the Massachusetts courts, and it's court approved. For the billionth time, JRC, the last defense you want to go with, in your favor, in the state of Massachusetts, is, but it's court approved, so obviously it's safe. Salem witch trials. Alright? Does that mean that those deaths are, obviously they were still good though because it was approved by the court? You see where this twisted logic can get us? Take a look at the world right now. We're spinning backwards in time. I'm not entirely sure that I'm not in a coma and having the weirdest dream of my entire existence. That's how unreal everything seems. Despite campaigns against the use of the method since 1985, the Judge Rotenberg Center is the only institution where electric shock therapy is still sanctioned in the United States. Do not use that term, because electric shock therapy and adversives are not the same animal. Stop confusing ECT with electric skin shock. One shocks your skin, the other shocks your brain. One is highly controlled, where every single protocol and safety measure is taken to provide safety and minimize discomfort and pain, manage it as best you can. The other is designed to hurt you. Stop confusing the two. In 2022, a task force set up by the Association for Behavioral Analysis International sought to study the use of contingent skin shock, CESS, in order to inform a position statement about its use. We can't just, use the video surveillance footage from what happened to Andre McCollins. No, we gotta do this again. Are you blind? Are we not reading the ER documentation? Are we reading no court transcripts? Reviewing any ER photos? All of this can tell you that this is a bad thing to use on human beings, but apparently here we are. As part of this report, Perone et al. 2022, the JRC was investigated due to being the only institution still practicing CESS, The report found that as of July 2022, there were 52 adults aged 26 to 59 authorized by law to receive electric shocks at JRC. Again, I will say, most places, public schools, 26 years is the limit. After that point in time, you automatically are taken out of school and transitioned over into adult services. Now, when I say transition, people, what I specifically mean has to do with going from high school age into secondary education or into workforce, or however the rest of your life is going to be looking like after high school. I have to make that distinction because otherwise, when we go through these documents, things can get a little confusing. Now, let me get back to where we were. These CESS treatment plans do not require the consent of the individual, and a student may wear multiple GED devices simultaneously, receiving shocks in different parts of their body without knowing where the pain will land. That is true, especially with those electrodes. Treatment plans can be approved for up to 15-20 years, despite regulations stating they should be reviewed yearly. Jesus Christ. They also found no evidence that treatment plans were faded over time. Thank you. CESS application can last between 5 to 20 years, and in fact the intensity of the shocks and the number of devices often has to be increased to maintain effectiveness. Which means they're not effective at all. You're just torturing students to torture them. Can we call it what it is? On that dark note, I'm going to go ahead and close out for this one. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few we do get tend to get removed from time to time. So folks, you know the drill. Please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, don't forget to hit the comments, and make sure you're still set up to receive notifications. We are going to be continuing the Down the Rabbit Hole and the Snake Oil Salesman series. We don't want you all to miss anything. I do appreciate your time, and as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea absolutely do. Hope you have a good one. We will see you all next time. Bye-bye, everyone.